Shannon, Odell was also excused from practice today. What happens next?
They're going to move on without Odell, and they should. We talked about this offseason, Skip. We said they should move on from Odell.
Yep.
It hadn't worked. I don't believe that after, Skip, I mean, it doesn't take time. I get it. Okay, maybe it takes 4 or 5 games. Okay, maybe it takes a season. But we had seen 2 seasons, even though it was a shortened second season, we saw that there was no chemistry between Baker and Odell. Okay, move on. It's okay. It didn't work. There have been situations before where teams sign free agents, and for whatever reason, the thing that I love about Mike Tomlin says, look, you know what? It didn't work. I'm sorry that it didn't work for us and Melvin Ingram, but hey, there's a reason why we like to build through the draft. Okay, fine. It didn't work.
Antonio Brown.
Skip, a lot of teams.
Yep.
We sign a guy, we think it's going to work, it doesn't work. You don't hold on. That's the one thing I do like about Coach Belichick. Coach Belichick, you're not finna just sit right there. Well, you know what? I made a mistake, and I'm gonna keep you on the payroll because I made a mistake. Coach Belichick gonna move on.
Cut, baby.
He gonna move on. It's as simple as that. And this is what they should have done with OBJ. I believe Baker Mayfield is surprised. I believe he's also hurt because, like he said, I've met this man's dad. I've had conversations with this man's dad.
I'm pretty sure they've had dinners together.
Yeah. So, Skip, I'm sure he is both. But Baker said something very interesting that we didn't get. He said, we still have guys like Jarvis that are team-first guys. He didn't mention Odell. So he speaks in that term like, okay, yeah, we got a lot of team-first guys. The guy that y'all are talking about right now is not one of those guys. So for me, Skip, I think it's a no-brainer now. It's over. OBJ's tenure in Cleveland is not going to continue. They sent him home yesterday for a reason, and Skip, we know this. I say, man, I don't know how he goes back in there because it's going to be very uncomfortable. The internet, the one thing about the internet, once there's something out there, it's out there forever. So things that was on the internet in 2009, you can go right back and pull it up.
Yep.
I didn't know how it was going to work, Skip. I don't know how it was going to work because in a locker room, when something like that happened, what is the other person thinking? That came from you, bro.
Bingo.
That came from you, bro. You put your old man up to that.
All right. So we have gone back and forth. You still believe in Odell?
Yeah.
I say he's declined to the point he's become far more trouble than he's worth. I still believe in Baker, and I believe that the irony of this situation was that in that first year, Baker went completely out of his way and overboard to force the football to an Odell Beckham Jr. he loved. He loved him off the field. He idolized him. He loved his celebrity. He loved to hang out with him. He loved to go out with him. And he loved throwing the football to Odell. And for whatever reason, he continued to force it maybe into double coverage. And it did not click from the start in ways that both of them badly wanted it to click. I don't know why. They just don't have on-field chemistry. Some do, some don't. And Baker's biggest problem going back to the first year was that he became so Odell-centric, Odell-conscious, that it was messing up the offense with all the other receivers. And it wasn't until, I'm knocking on wood for Odell, he got hurt yet again, and he's had nothing but injury after injury that I think has sapped some of his electricity from his body. It finally happened at Cincinnati. He got hurt again. He was gone for the year, and Baker took off in ways you don't see it as taken off, but by his standards, as a still young quarterback, and he's had coordinator after head coach after coordinator, but he took off over the last 11 games last year. He was 20 touchdowns to 3 interceptions without Odell. They won 8 games and lost 3. They beat Pittsburgh, their arch rival at Pittsburgh, in a playoff game. And here we go into this year, and Odell's back. Not back from the start, but back all of a sudden when they're starting to teeter, and it crumbled completely to the point that Odell became literally untradeable. That's all you need to know. I think they tried their behinds off to trade him for anything. For the 7th rounder, you said that maybe somebody would give. And I think nobody wanted to give anything because they were going to have to pay him $8 million. And they see that his receiving yards per game have declined for 4 straight years. They look at Pro Football Focus, your favorite website. It now grades Odell the 64th best receiver in pro football, tied with Byron Pringle, Kansas City Chiefs. And in the end, they felt stuck with Odell. So now I said before the trade deadline, just cut bait, just let him go, and then it'll be a happier ending for everybody, because then at least you'd feel good about, let Odell go make his choice. He can go choose wherever he wants to land.
Wherever he wants to go, yep.
Okay, I will raise one other possibility here, because they're still afloat in the AFC, because everybody's still afloat in the AFC. Within their division, Pittsburgh is still fighting, and Baltimore still. But I'm looking at Baltimore and Pittsburgh as two teams that could use Odell. Right. You could argue, especially your Ravens, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think they're a little gun shy about just cutting bait right now, because if he goes to Baltimore or Pittsburgh, maybe he would be rejuvenated. He have a new spirit of revenge, like, I'll show you. And I don't think they want that to happen. So do you remember what happened to Terrell Owens once upon a time in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
They just paid him to go home.
Right.
Well, I think there's a distinct possibility that they're weighing that situation right now. We've paid you. I think they've already paid him the $8 million. You know, it's what he's owed. But I mean, they're on the hook for it.
Right.
So they could just say, just enjoy yourself the rest of the year, but we don't need you. Right. And you can get away with that, as far as I know.
I think they did away with that for the TA. Actually, if I'm not either T.O. or the Keyshawn, because remember Tampa tried to do that to Keyshawn.
They did do it to him.
So Skip, I think they changed the rule. I think they changed the rules
how
now.
far you can go with it, but it sounds like they're weighing that option as we speak. So the point is,
or are they weighing some of the options that we can suspend him and fine him for conduct detrimental to the team? Because of that video, because one would assume that was very detrimental. Skip, here's the thing. It would be one thing if two guys didn't get along, but there's great production. You're like, okay, we're going to fine you $15,000, $20,000, and we're going to move on. Shaq and Kobe didn't have the great relationship, but the production was undeniable. There's a reason why the Philadelphia 76ers are really trying to hold on to Ben Simmons. They don't get, he and Joel Embiid might not get along, but the production is undeniable, Skip, when you get the number one seed, when you make the playoffs.
I agree.
So in this situation, Skip, the production is not there for you to want trying to keep this marriage together. So it's not like they built something where you're like, man, that's a dynamic duo there, man. How are we going to break that up?
They have nothing to show.
They have nothing to show for it. So it would seem to me it would be easier for Cleveland to want to move on, for Odell to want to move on, and we're happily apart. Then I guess in the terms of Gwyneth Paltrow, they'll be uncoupling. So, they once a couple, Skip.
That's deep.
They would be no longer a couple. And But what was Skip, by holding on to him, Skip, you just mentioned 64th best receiver. That's not something that you hold on to. You just let it go. Give Odell a chance to go wherever he wants, because if you release him, no one is gonna sign him, because they would have to pick up the $8 million. He would become a free agent, and then he would be free to go to a situation that he would deem most beneficial to what he can provide.
Okay. So bottom line to this is, whether you love him or not, Baker Mayfield is still the franchise quarterback. And you just heard him, and you just saw, as Jenny alluded to, his body language. He was blindsided by this because he thought he was at least friendly, if not friends, with Odell's father. And this just came out of nowhere and knocked him over. Wait a second. He put this up on the internet? Showing all the routes that Odell ran that I didn't throw him the ball, and then it took him a while to think through an answer about it. But he said, I'm paraphrasing his remark, but he said, you're saying I deliberately decided not to throw the ball to an extremely talented player I've done all this work with? He loved him. No, that's not what happened. After a while, I'm sure Kevin Stefanski is saying, we can't force the ball to Odell. It has to happen in the flow of the offense.
It's got to be organic,
And then when he does throw the ball to Odell, we've got the 2 fourth down drops. We've got the pass you and I went back and forth on the other day, down the stretch. Pass down to the 5-yard line, in which I just thought Odell didn't make much of an effort for it. And now you got pouty body language. And in the end, you just say, this situation just hit the wall. So you have to undo it. And if I'm Cleveland, I don't worry about him coming back to haunt me, because he's haunting me even more being with me.
Skip, I get Baker's quote. Baker said he talked to Jarvis and didn't want to draw a line between Jarvis and Odell. Then he mentioned that Jarvis...
Remember, they're best friends from
college. He said, Jarvis just wants to win badly as I do. Those are the type of guys and the type of focus that we need to have right now. Those are the type of guys.
That was it. He just told you between the lines what he's saying.
Skip, I was always mindful. I used to tell my mom, I used to tell anybody that came inside into the stands, because Skip, everybody knows whose seats those are. Oh, you're here with Shannon Sharpe.
Yep.
Oh, such and such. I said, be careful now. I said, because that's other people's family in this section also. You said he sucked, he does that. Now people going to say, well, Shannon been saying that at home. So be careful. Whatever you got, to bite your tongue, keep it up under your breath, because you're not finna come in here and cause this confusion in the locker room.
No.
That's what just happened with Odell's dad doing that. Let's give Odell might have had nothing to do with that. That might have been Odell's senior saying, I'm tired of this bull jive that y'all keep talking about my son can't play. Well, let me show you what my son been doing and what's been happening while my son's been doing it. That could have been the case.
Could have been.
But nobody will believe that. They can believe Odell put his dad up to that. They believe Odell put LeBron up to that. That's just the way it works.
So I believe even the Odell Baker bridge just got burned to the ground.
Yeah.
And Baker's quote yesterday was, if he's back, if he does have to come back into the locker room, into the huddle, into the game plan, he said, we'll have to do whatever it takes to work through it. Well, I just don't know. That's going to require a sit down and a soul search. And I don't know if either is capable of having a meeting of the minds on that one at this point.
Skip, that's a situation we just move forward.
The
likelihood, there's a good chance that we probably won't cross paths again. But if we were to, hey, man, how you doing? Congratulations on success, and just keep it moving like that. As minimal conversation as you possibly can. That's not something that you stand around and you chop it up and you chew the fat like you did when you boys. Like when I go back and I see guys from Baltimore, Skip, we cool. I see guys from Denver, we say, hey, man, yada, yada, yada.
But nothing went wrong.
But that's what I'm saying.
You won championships together.
Skip, that's what I'm saying in this situation. You be cordial, Skip. It's not like, man, I don't fool with you like that. But you know you keep it as short as you possibly can. Hey, bro, how you doing? Hey, congratulations on the season you just had. And you just keep it moving just like that.
Okay, so I picked the Browns before the season started to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. I don't love my chances, but I'll tell you this. I like my chances a lot better without Odell on the football team.
I told you Odell needs to be someplace that he wants to be. I don't know if Odell fully ever really bought into Cleveland. That's not his. I mean, going from New York, you played it for the Giants, and even though you're not winning, you are in the media KU in New York. And you go from that to Cleveland where you're not winning, and I'm not catching any passes. No.
Remember when he asked a Twitter follower, you got any restaurants out there?
Right.
They were out there in Cleveland. It was out there to him.
It's time to, Odell, let's go. We going to find us. We're going to pick up shop.
Yep.
We moving. Leaving y'all. Deuces.
Done. Thank you.
Done.
You're going to miss us when we go.
I don't know how that all ends up. It's creating a lot of drama, guys.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.